What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Miguel. You're watching Miguel EDC, the channel where we talk everything EDC gear here. And today we are checking out the Kizer Sparrow. This one is the premium version with the titanium handles, S35 VN steel. And this one is actually a much bigger one than the budget version. So we're going to get into it here, share with you all the details, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything you need to know about this knife. So if perhaps you are considering buying this knife, you have basically all the information needed to make an educated decision. Otherwise, just for fun, because we're knife people and we love learning and talking about knives. And of course, this knife and every other knife that you see in this video will be linked down below. Those links do help out the channel at no extra cost to you. And of course, you know, if you end up buying a knife through those links, it supports the channel, but again, it is absolutely zero extra cost on your end. That being said, let's go ahead and get started here with this one really quick then. Let's not waste any time, and let's do the customary size measurement here. This one comes in a little bit over 7.5. We're looking at an overall length of maybe 7.6 inches. The blade is about 3.25 total length, but the cutting edge is 3 inches or so on the cutting edge there, and the handle is about 4.35 overall length. All right, let's do a quick size comparison here on this bad boy, shall we, with the typical knives that we usually check out here in the channel. Yeah, let's just do a quick size comparison then, since we already have it out here. The Hyper on top, the Sparrow right below it. Okay, let's toss in a few more. Here is the Dogfish button lock, which we recently unboxed as well. Here's the Kizer KUH. Check that out right there. Okay, so it's about medium size, you know, if anything, right? Medium knife size, not large enough to be a large knife, not short enough to be a short knife. Definitely a medium knife through and through. Check that out. And let's do a few other ones, the typicals here in the channel. Here's your PM2. Check it out. Here's your Para 3. Okay, so certainly perhaps more Para 3 territory, if anything. Here's your Demko AD 20.5 and the shark's foot blade, and the smaller brother, the Shark Cub. All right, so it's actually longer. I was gonna say something different, but it's more so in the Demko AD 20.5 territory and longer than it, actually. Maybe like half an inch or so, or like quarter-ish inch right there, right? You can ballpark just to give you an idea where the knife lands. Got two more for you. This is the Model 1 and Model 2 from Ontario Knife Co. All right, so definitely closer to the Model 2, although a little bit bigger. The CJRB Pyrite and the Vosteed Raccoon. Okay, if anything, it's actually bigger than the Pyrite and very comparable to the Raccoon. Okay, so yeah, definitely Raccoon size territory for sure. Here it is next to the Kizer Task and next to the Kizer Cryptid, right? Check it out right there. You guys be the judge. The Sparrow there is just a tad bit bigger, right? Definitely not medium to large, whereas this one is a medium, this one is a medium. Take a look there for yourself. What we have going on with this knife, let's talk action wise first, right? So as you saw there, this thing is so drop shotty, man, oh man, like so good. So we have a flipper deployment. That is one deployment option, and we also have the half moon, half circle going on here, which is great for reverse flicking and also thumb deployment all day, every day. As long as you don't put any additional unnecessary pressure on the lock bar, you should be good to go. It is riding on ball bearings, and as you can see, that drop shot action is inevitable. It is oh so good. D10 is nicely tuned right there for a flipper, right? Offers a good amount of tension. I apologize if you can hear my dog barking in the background, but there we go. Yeah, that is good. Yeah, so great action. The action department is great. It is a frame lock, and we do have a steel on steel contact here with that steel insert on the lock bar, which is good, more recommendable or preferred than titanium on steel contact, which is good. And we do have of course, the titanium handles. Again, I mentioned earlier, this one is a more premium version of the budget Sparrow. The budget Sparrow is a little bit shorter. I believe the blade is around 2.99 inches, and it does have 154 cm instead of S35 VN, and it has micarta on the scales instead of titanium. So this is the more premium version of that. Again, S35VN on the steel here. It is a stonewash finish with a flat grind that it's not a full flat grind, but it does go to about halfway on the blade there, which is good. This thing is an absolute slicer, as you'll see later on during the paper cutting test and the cardboard cutting test. I know, very scientific cutting test, but you know, it just about covers what most people do as far as EDC tasks around the house and stuff like that. So you'll see that later in the video. We have good jimping right there on the spine, which is functional. By the way, this knife is pretty good. Ergonomically speaking, you have a very wide opening there, which sort of accommodates maybe your index and middle finger together, and then your ring finger and pinky sort of follow suit. So it feels good in the hand. The pocket clip is also comfortable there, and you can rest your thumb right here on the spine of the blade and go to town, right? Go to work right there, slicing whatever it is you're cutting. Boom, you can get some serious work done like that. You have good access to the lock bar from here. No jimping necessary, and it's also easy to push out of the way, right? Very, very easy to push out of the way, which is perfect. And man, oh man, that action never gets old. The titanium is sort of like a brush titanium, blasted titanium. This one doesn't have a lot of scratches, but I can see here close to the corners it might be sort of fading a bit. It'll be interesting to see how this one ages over time. There we go. I need the light to hit it in the right angle. There's even like a line scratch going on here. So it really depends, right? How well you take care of it and avoid unnecessary scratches and stuff like that. I like the gray finish. I like the monochrome aesthetics on it. And the fact that you have a stonewash finish blade with a gray titanium handle. That to me is an awesome combination, and I love monochrome knives. Now the flipper tab, I guess you could fell it if you really tried to. If you barely put any effort, you could fell it. But I feel like as long as you put a decent amount of effort, or you just run your finger through the basically the back of the handle here, boom, you're gonna get it open every single time. As far as blade geometry, we're dealing with a sheep's foot blade. I don't want to hear any arguments about this being a reverse tanto. Just kidding. That's been a recurring theme over the last couple of review videos, going over these sheep's foot blades that people call reverse tanto. It could be a whole separate video right there. Get the blade police out here so we can settle this once and for all. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, ergonomically this thing is really good. Let's do carry profile thickness against something like the Vosteed Raccoon. That's pretty comparable right there. Something like the Rock Model 1. Pretty comparable as well, right? Length and height in the pocket. Believe it or not, it's a little bit on the tall side, but it wouldn't be as tall as, let's say, a 80-20.5, or let's say a Pair 3 or PM2 or Spyderco knives, you know, knife with the hole right there for that matter. So it's gonna be pretty decent, right? If anything, it might be closer to, let's say, something like the Shark Cub, Demko Shark Cub, right? Something like the Pyrite, right? You guys be the judge right there, right? There is a slightly decent amount of blade sticking out of the handle, but not all that much compared to some other knives. Maybe like 80%, 20 to 25% of it is showing, like 80, 75 or 80% is tucked away, which is good. So once again, ergonomically speaking, it feels pretty good. I have medium hands, not the biggest of hands, not the smallest of hands. I can fit all 4 fingers here, no problem. If you had slightly bigger hands, you should be all right. Unless you have big old bear paws, then I don't know. But the flipper tab does sort of work as a finger guard here, protecting you away from the blade. And I don't know, there's no comfortable forward choking option on this one. So that is something to be aware of. The plunge grind on this one is way back here, so you should have some decent sharpens out of this one before getting a smile. That should make Jared, aka Knees Knives, pretty happy right there. And yeah, I mean, the action on this thing is the one thing I keep coming back to because it has such good action. I did notice a couple of things. So we have the stress relief on the lock bar on the outside. A lot of companies nowadays are doing the same cutout, but in the inside, and it just makes the whole design a little bit cleaner. Some people like it, some people don't. I like the fact that the pocket clip is not riding on top of it, because then that would be an issue, tearing your jeans or what have you every time it goes in and out. So I mean, it really comes down to your preference. If you like it outside for personality, if you like it in the reverse manner, tucked in with the cutouts on the inside for a more flush look. But I did notice that, just wanted to point it out. That is completely up to you. Deep pocket carry clip, I mean, for the most part, you'll have a portion of the knife showing, but I mean, check out how much of the knife is actually tucked in, right? So yeah, a little bit of the knife will show. It is reversible, which is interesting. And check out the filler tab on this end. They go the extra mile, right? Not only providing a nice flush filler tab, but check out how clean that is, right? The way they achieve that is they have a, I don't know if they call this a Chicago screw or what have you, but this screw is long enough where it can actually go all the way through this channel right there that you see and make it all the way to the other end. And it's a nice flush design right there, which you can see. You're probably wondering, what does it look like if I have to reverse it, because the pocket clip sort of curves up a bit. Well, no worries. In the box, right, you get a lefty pocket clip if you want, and there's even the filler tab for the opposite side. And right here you can see that channel in a way where you would screw it from the other side. Let me go ahead and get it out here without making a big mess. There we go. Oh, by the way, tons and tons of additional hardware, which is always appreciated. You don't really know how valuable that is until you actually need it. These are not steel, so it could be aluminum, could be titanium. I know the pocket clip is 3D titanium right here, which is nice. Check it out from this angle. So if you wanted to do the combination from the other side, then there you go. You got your filler tab and pocket clip to go along with it as well. Included with every knife in every box. That is the way to go. So shout out to Kizer for doing it that way. And thinking of lefties out there, not leaving them out in the dark. All right, so I wanted to point that out. Reversible pocket clip, which is good. Weight on this thing is pretty good, right? It is going to be a little bit heavy. It is titanium, right? So it should feel a decent weight on the hand. There's ever so slight amount of milling going on both ends, which you can see there, right? A little bit of milling here, a little bit of milling on the other side. All right, trying to find the best angle that you can see it from. So therefore, let's just do a quick weight on this bad boy before we forget. I want to say 4.3, 4.4. Moment of truth, 4.1. I overestimated 4.1. That is not bad. And you know me, I like a lightweight knife as much as I like a much heavier knife. So that to me is no problem at all. It definitely gives you that feeling of premium materials there, right, at that waypoint, and I love that. A quick blade stock thickness on this bad boy. Let's see, where are we at? The 0 out. And let's get a read right here, 0.12. That is the average. Most knives have a blade stock thickness of 0.12, so that is no different there. If you've seen many knives here in the channel, that's typically where most make and models aim for. Same deal with the thickness on the handle, 0.47. So very close to ½ inch, or 0.5, which is what they aim for thickness-wise for a comfortable handle with great ergos, and they certainly achieve that here without a doubt. So that is good. Let's do the hardware check, of course. As per usual, I'm going to get my tools out here. They are part of the Spyderco tool set. They just come with every bit that you could possibly need for all your DIY home needs, right? Fixing things around the house, being the handyman or what have you. So I see T8, which is good. By the way, one side of the pivot is captive. That's a good sign. Love to see that. T8 on the pivot and T8 on the body screws down here. Where we don't have T8 is going to be in the pocket clip and on the steel insert on the lock bar. So that's T6. The pocket clip is T6. All right, that's not bad, right? So typically, we would prefer to see TA all around, but they did really good at providing TA in basically in all the places that count, which is the pivot and the body screws and filler tab and the pocket clip. Those things you're not going to be moving around as much. You're either righty or lefty, so you'll make that change once, and you're really not changing that steel bar insert all that often either. So kind of given that, honestly, not a big deal. The same thing with stress relief cutout. Again, it's a matter of preference. It doesn't take away from the functionality or reliability of the knife. It will be nice to have bigger screws, but that's that, right? But honestly, that's about it for the theme with this knife. It was really difficult to find something to fault this knife for or anything to pick at, but I'll tell you that I had a difficult time, and that is to say I didn't find anything specifically with this knife that really stood out. Let's do a very scientific paper cutting test. I got the 8.5 by 11 copy paper cut in half. Let's see how it does. Yeah, that is certainly going to slice, no doubt whatsoever. Holy smokes. Yep. This thing is sharp. And keep in mind, it's not brand new out of the box or anything. It certainly has seen some use and it's still hanging on. Pretty sharp, it seems. You get a feel? Oh yes, that blade is still ready to go, and very bitey edge as well. I got some everyday cardboard here. Pull up sniper box, single wall. Let's do some cutting tests here. Remember, when cutting cardboard, don't cut perpendicular like this, but at an angle, like that. And it's gonna look something like this. Holy smokes. Well, we know that flat grind is going to put in work. It's not a full flat grind, you know, but it does cut, slice really good. You guys rate it in the comments on a scale from 1 through 10. How sharp is this guy? How much of an edge has it retained? Let me know. Yeah, this one is very nice and solid, right? That lock bar locks pretty good. Let's see, we have up and down, no movement, side to side, no movement, and all that being done with a very drop shot action. So again, the price on this one is $159 because you are getting the premium steel, 135 VN on the blade there, and titanium on the handles and pocket clip. There is a budget version that's a little bit smaller blade wise. It is 154 cm and micarta for 79 bucks. So there you have it. I recommend either one, right? If you're more so on a budget, get the budget version. If you're more so shopping, you know, more premium materials, then get this version here with the titanium. I feel like you are not going to be disappointed with this knife. Great action, great ergonomics, very reliable drop shot action right there. And this thing cuts like crazy, as you could clearly see from the paper and cardboard cutting test. That being said, highly recommend this guy, just like some of the other models that we have seen from Kizer, the Task, the Cryptid, and also the Dogfish. All of these are very recommendable. They have a little bit of everything in every price point. All right, the Dogfish is exactly $99, 154 cm with aluminum. The Task was $82, I believe, with 154 cm micarta, and 154 cm micarta, $78, the Cryptid as well. Great action, all of these, very reliable, very sharp as well. So just sort of pick your favorite there, if you will, or maybe pick more than one, because all of these are rock solid. So can't recommend the Sparrow enough. Check it out if you haven't already. Again, link down below. It does help the channel when you use those links, if you end up making a purchase through those links, but that is entirely up to you and at absolutely zero extra cost. Guys, if you made it to the very end, you guys are the real MVPs. I really appreciate you all for what you do and supporting the channel. Go ahead and smash that like button if you haven't already. It really helps the video with the YouTube algorithm. And if you're not yet subscribed, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. I promise you it'll be worth coming back for more. I make knife content like this on an ongoing basis, and you will not be disappointed. That being said, guys, that is all I have for you for today. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Check out the other unboxings and reviews on the other Kizer knives if you haven't already. You guys take care of yourself, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.